I'm David from the Grown Together project, the community champion for it. It's a joint project between Almond Housing, the West Lothian Youth Action Project and Spark, all key organisations within Craigshill. And myself and the two community gardeners have been in post since October of last year. I've been busy trying to set up a busy programme of activity, events, workshops and growing and cooking opportunities for the people of Craigshill. Growing Together itself started in about 2020 and has been through various kind of bits during that time, but we're now there fully staffed and able to give that the kind of energy it needs, and its scope has broadened beyond just growing food. On sites like the Craigshill Community Garden, into work around anti-poverty, working with young people, mental health, environmental stuff, while still keeping its core stuff together. We support 4 other sites across Craigshill, and we also give sort of incidental support to other people who manage community growing spaces within their direct community area. Some of that is through maybe plants or advice or other support. This is our main growing site. This is our hub, I suppose, where we're growing food and plants to send out to the other community garden spaces, to send home to members of the community so they can grow in their own space and have access to fresh fruit and vegetables easily. And one of the main elements of this space is to grow food for the community fridge in Craigshill, which supports people with food insecurity in the area to access easily fresh food and vegetables in a simplistic fashion. Most of the food that currently comes in through something called Fair Share, and it's great to get food from farms and supermarkets and stuff, but by the time it's going out to the community, it's not always in peak condition, and some foods just don't make it through that system. Like, fresh salads, fresh fruits and things are rarely seen there. So we'll have the opportunity to contribute a lot of additional fresh fruit and vegetables grown in an organic fashion direct to the people of the community. No food miles, it's a perfect scenario. People from there are able to come down and support us with volunteering, and yeah, it's a great sort of community binding thing. Unfortunately, our polycrub, which was broken into a couple of weeks ago, with fairly significant damage to the crops we've been growing. We've lost a lot of the younger plants, although the team have worked incredibly hard that week, the volunteers and the staff, to bring some semblance back to the space. A lot of the bigger plants have bounced back really well, and we're okay with them. We have lost a lot of the smaller plants, and the volunteers are busy sowing the next lot. We may be a little bit behind, and we may be a bit short in some of the things we're wanting. But I think we will catch up. It was obviously sad to have that happen on site, particularly given the community nature of what the space is for. We're looking to work with the Youth Action Project a bit more closely on how we can engage younger people in the community to utilise and benefit the space more productively and make better use of it. We're looking at a number of workshops and things targeted specifically at younger people, particularly as we come into not quite coming into the summer season, where there's less opportunities for people to have things to do. So hopefully we can play a part in supporting that. We have had some incredibly positive feedback from the community and the volunteers who work with us already. We've had lots of offers of help, materials, support, plants, our volunteer numbers have increased, our social media presence has increased. So there are a lot of positives have come out of a really difficult situation, and it's great to see the strength within the community, that there's a lot of positivity out there, particularly given the community gardeners coming in and finding the garden space like that. It was good for them to see that, you know, that's the isolated incident rather than the norm within here. I'll take you for a wee tour around the gardens, okay? So this half of the community garden space is our fruit and vegetable growing area. We are growing a broad range of fresh fruit and vegetables to go back out into the community, again predominantly through the community fridge. Everything is being grown to organic standards. We're not registering as organic, but all the fruit and vegetables will be going out with the highest sort of growing standards. We'll be able to provide that particularly fresh, which is really important for us. We can check what's going on in advance and harvest what's looking at its absolute best before it goes back out. We've worked very closely with the West Lothian Youth Action Project and a number of their youth projects to work on the building of everything on the site. They work with young people who are not always managing to be in school full time, and through various of their projects they've supported us very heavily with the putting together of the space, moving of endless bags of compost, building of beds, containers, polycrubs, the works. Like a great team of young people, and we're ever grateful for their help. I think one of the things we're looking forward most to coming out here is the fresher foods, the fruits, the salads, the fresh vegetables that are harder to get from Fairshare, where the community fridge gets most of its veg from. We'll be able to harvest in things that are rarely seen there. And fresh herbs we're looking forward to as well. So we're growing, gradually building up our herb selections so people can have access to that to add into the food, but again also to put out and plant out in the other community spaces. So some of our community gardens are much smaller, less focused on growing food, and are built around areas where there's flats, so people will be able to access simple fruits, herbs for cooking, things like that on their doorstep, supported by the team of volunteers and staff here. I'd like to see everything growing. We're currently building our volunteer base, both within this site and other activities in areas we do. Volunteering is the heart of the community growing thing, the community gardening process, and it's all about working with the community, for the community, not to and at the community. So yeah, hopefully we'll produce bountiful harvests of lovely fruit and veg, but also that we can engage more with the people who live and work and go to school in the area.